Right, guys, so welcome to Fingers Crossed. Today I'm here with Betty, and he is going to be showcasing his DRAGONLINK deck that he just got top 4 in the last Remote Duel Extravaganza. So, Betty, so if you want to start running us through the list, like how do you feel it did, or what sort of matchups did you have in the first 8
Yeah.
rounds?
Okay. So for people that don't know, I'm Alex Robertson, team captain of the Disciples, best UK team, and I played the Remote Duel Invitational Qualifier like 2 weeks ago now, a week ago, I don't know, um, a little while ago, and I managed to get top four with my Dragon Link deck deck. Um, I basically played a very very similar list to Gabriel Nets, who is like an online grinder question mark. And yeah, let's just get straight into the deck. Actually, do you want me to do my rounds first, or should I do that later?
Let's do rounds first, like the first 8, and
Okay.
then we'll go into the top cut afterwards.
So I played round one. I played Mech Invoked, and I 2-0'd him because it's. I don't think it's a bad matchup for this, just because you don't put out like traditional negates. You put out like bounces and stuff, which are like hard negates for Mech Invoke to play through an OTK with. So if he doesn't OTK me, I'll just win the game, right? Then round two, I played Paleo. Again, like I think this deck has a really good trap deck matchup, just because like the trap cards they just don't like do enough a lot of the time, unless they're like floodgate cards, and he just didn't have floodgate cards. So like if I didn't kill him turn one, I killed him turn two. Round three, I played Dogmatic Invoked. That was that was 2-1. I remember game one he played into Gamma, and game three I just comboed him, and it didn't matter.
So
There,
did you so before I know that the Dragon Link deck was kind of quite dice roll reliant. So
yeah.
did it still feel like that? Did you win a lot of dice rolls to?
No, I only won a couple of dice rolls. So in rounds 4, 5, and 6 in Swiss, I don't think I won any of those dice rolls. Or if I did, I bricked when going first, so I didn't even do anything. Um, and it was like, as you'll see in a minute, I'm playing like 9 hand traps in main. I'm playing another 9 or 10 in the side deck. I can't remember. So it just means you're like going second matchup isn't like super bad and like super unwinnable. You just have to like get lucky and actually draw hand traps, and you should be fine most of the time.
Oh, that's pretty
Uh,
interesting.
so yeah, round four, 5, and 6, I played Virtual World. I lost round six to Ben Robinson, who got second in the event. And it just like from my perspective, it just didn't matter what I did, because he opened like hand trap Kowloon, and then like 4 go second cards, 4 Virtual World names. So it just didn't matter. I couldn't win. But yeah, then top eight, I played against Dinosaur, which did surprise me a lot, because I wasn't expecting a Dinosaur in top eight.
Yeah, that's quite.
Uh,
What build do they got? I've been seeing a lot of True King variant at the
yeah, so
moment.
this was a go second one, I think. Because he opens like 3 hand traps Mystic Mine, and no like engine cards. So like he like double hand trapped me game one, or turn one. Then I passed. Then he like did nothing, and then he hand trapped me again. Um, and then I ended on like a hot red seal and a tidying. And then he activates Mystic Mine and negate, and then like he passes, and I just bounce it in the end phase with seal, and I just kill him in my next turn. Uh, then game two, he activates Prosperity as the first card, and then like banishes 6 and reveals Summon Limit, and that's when I knew I lost that game, because like I didn't have an out to Summon Limit in my deck at that point. So he like made laggy Ultimate Conductor with the set summon limit, and my hand could play through Lagia and Ultimate Conductor. I just couldn't play through the summon limit on top of that.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, yeah. That's pretty. Yeah, that's quite tough to get through those.
yeah, like it was. I think it was fine with the just those two, but the floodgate on top of that just made it impossible.
Yeah, and he's
Then
put the two options, like Lagger can protect the summon limit from the spells, and the
yeah, exactly.
that's pretty crazy. Yeah.
Then game 3, we both misplayed a couple of times, but he basically he instead of summoning a Dolka, instead of summoning a Lagia, he made a Dolka, and I could kill him through the Dolka without using monster effects, which was just like it was a really weird hand, but it just worked out that way for me.
Really, how did you manage that?
I can't remember, but like I remember I had a Lost World token on board, and I had to I made the Halka Fibrax, didn't use the effects, and then I just like summoned 2 guys and climbed into a Boral Sword. And then no, sorry, I made Hulk. Then I had Tidying set, so I then summoned a dragon tidying the Dolka back, and then I just killed him with the rest of my cards. And I made a Savage so I couldn't get hand trapped on the period along the way.
That's pretty good. The Tidying's quite an interesting one. I'm looking forward to see why all of a sudden, because these cards have been around for a little while now, haven't they? What Tidying was in Rise of the Duelist.
Rise of the Duelist, yes.
And Dragon Maid was obviously, that was
Echo.
in Echo. So it's quite interesting that everyone's gone to that. But then, so round 7 now?
So that was top 8. Then top 4, I lost to Ben Robinson again. I think one of the games he made double VFD through Lancer as my only hand trap. So I got unlucky there.
Yeah, that is pretty broken, to be honest.
Yeah, then game 2 I only had Seal Tidying, I think. No, game 2 I misplayed because I was very tired at this point, and instead of doing my full combo, I just went Tracer F pop Bootsec to make a Savage Dragon. So I ended on Seal Savage Dragon Tidying when I could have gotten Apollo as well. And if I got the Apollo, I would have won that game. But he just had Kowloon, and then Kowloon, and 4 Virtual World names. So you just played for it.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy.
Which is pretty insane.
Yeah. It's insane now that Virtual World can just combo with even through a Lancia, and get double VFD as well. That's broken. VFD really does need to get hit.
It really does. If it doesn't, I'll be a bit saddened, but it is what it is at the end of the day. At least we don't have in-person events at the moment to get terrorized by it. But
yeah, that is true. But it seems like there's more and more Virtual World players coming out. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I feel like at the beginning there wasn't many. Then now it just seems to get more and more and more and more, and it's just crazy. Picking up the deck when potentially it's going to get VFD. It's quite high on the hit list. Who would imagine?
If it's not getting hit, then I'll be thoroughly surprised.
Yeah,
but
I'm looking forward to your promise of getting violent. To be honest.
Just have to watch out for the Facebook posts.
Yeah. A strongly worded email to Konami.
Strongly worded. Right. Let's just get straight into it.
Yeah, let's go.
So 40 card main deck. So 3 Chamber Dragon Maid. So when Gabe sold me on DRAGONLINK, he told me that you basically play it as 2021 Salamangreat. So it's not a massive combo deck, even though it is, but you play it as a control deck with Seals, Tidying, your 1 Savage Negate, whatever. And you just control the game, and then you just outgrind them with Rocket Synchrons to climb into your Chaos Ruler, your Hot Red to get more advantage, and then you just kill them. Obviously, you've got broken cards like LP, Pisty that just let you kill them as well and do big combos. But I wasn't focusing on that as much. I was just focusing on doing Seals, Tidying, Savage, and then just having hand advantage and hand traps and stuff.
Yeah, well, Seal alone is quite broken. A bounce and a summon it's quite risky. If you do it at the right time, that could end a person's turn. To be honest,
sometimes I'm actually convinced it's the best dragon card just because of how much it does in one card. It's got LP's effects, but it's also just an interrupt as well. Pretty broken.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
But yeah, so Chamber adds to that mentality as well because it gets you a trap card, which is not only a good interrupt, but it also means your deck doesn't lose to cards like Mystic Mine. You can play around cards like Dark Ruler no more because of it. But it's also just an extender as well. So like if you need to, you can like add Dragon Ravine or Formulus, discard the Tiding, and then it's just an extender to get more dragons on board to combo. So I think this card's like probably like one of the best dragon cards in your deck now.
And how come you don't play any more of the Dragon Maids? I like none of the other ones useful, because I know you got Nurse is a Monster Reborn, isn't it?
Yeah, I think Nurse is a Monster Reborn. Kitchen's another add, but only adds monsters. Parlor's a good one that you can play, but
it's just not worth
it. Yeah, Parlor doesn't really like fulfill the same role as Chamber does, because Chamber adds you Tidying, whereas like Parlor sends one from deck to the graveyard. So although it does play around Draw and Lock Birds, a lot of the time if you get like Draw and Lock Birded on your Chamber, like adding Tidying, you're fine with that, because you can usually just end on a Seal Tidying anyway, and that's just fine. And they've got -1, obviously. Yeah, I don't think that you can play Hospitality as well, so it turns like this into a 1-card Seal, but I just don't think it's worth the brick in the deck.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
Then
Consistency
for
is
Rocket
key.
Monsters,
Two
2 Synchron, 2 Tracer, the Recharger, and the Absorouter. So a lot of people like obviously used to playing 3 Tracer. The problem is, it's just like you just don't want to draw like too many of it.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Not many people used to play the Rocket Synchron. That was taken out, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Not many people played that.
So you didn't really need it, because like before it was like a card to summon off Hulk, but now like a lot of the combos revolve around like you making your Chaos Ruler into Hot Red. So like you need Tracer to be able to like summon Rocket Synchron a lot. But you also like it's also just like one of your best normal summons past turn 1, because you can always like reborn your like Absorouter, your Chaos Ruler, your Savage. Even like Red MD and stuff, just to like keep gaining further advantage and make like your broken synchro monsters, or like just climb into like Borrelsword Dragon for the OTKs. Then so that's like why you're playing 2 of it. I don't think I can ever like see myself going down to 1. We did talk about it, but sometimes like you just need to have like the second one in deck for like Tracer access, quick launch access, whatever. So I just don't think you can ever do it. Recharger is obviously like the best level 4 name to play, just because it's like an extender with Striker Dragon as well. Summoning back like Red MD, your Synchro monsters, like even Chamber and stuff like that is really important. Then for like your list of one-off dragons, we got Red MD, Black Metal Dragon, Starleaf Safer, White Dragon, Black Dragon, Chaos Dragon Leviathan, Rotor, and Noctivision Dragon.
So the first question is, obviously I know Levianeer and Black and White Dragon, like Black and White Dragon are just broken, I know that, and safer as that. But how come only 1 Black Metal now? Because obviously before it used to be the 3, wasn't it? 3 was like the main one. That's what you was trying to get to. So how come it's cut down to the 1?
Basically, like for the math of the deck, you don't want to draw like too many starter cards, because like they just like clump your hand. So the math is you're playing 5 starter cards, or 5 normal summons, like dedicated normal summons, being the Free Chamber, the Safer, and the Black Metal. And that's like the perfect math to open 1 but not multiples. So that's why we're only playing 1 of these as well. But like, so like Chamber's like the better normal summon, because it gets you to your Tidying, and that's what you like always want to do, like through hand traps and stuff. Whereas both of these are like good LP targets. So that's why we're not maximizing maxing out on them. Like we were playing double Safer at one point, because in the grind game, like Safer's the best card because it adds back Levy. But like I just think it's not needed as a like multiple card, because you've also got like Chaos Space, which gets you to these cards. So you just don't want to like overclock on like ways to Black and White Dragon.
Yeah, because I assume you play the 3 Chaos Space, as well.
Yeah, exactly.
And the Noctovision Dragon, you play that for because it's a free body and then it protects your Tidying, or?
Mainly just because it's a free body. We don't want to like. So I've actually cut this from my list now, because like it's like a good extender, but like a lot of the times it could just be a better card. In my head, I do really like this card, just because like it's a free extender, it draws a card, but like you just don't. Sometimes like it just doesn't do enough in some of your awkward hands. Whereas like you'd rather just have like one of these cards or like any of the rocket cards.
Yeah, I liked it. I used to play it in Buster Blader because obviously you can summon it and then it protects your prologue as well. But
yeah, that's really cool. But yeah, so like,
what did you swap it out for now?
As well. Pardon?
What did you swap it out for?
I think it was more hand traps.
Oh, you just had it. Oh,
yeah,
fair.
Because obviously you need to win going second. Weird. But yeah, so like this card's like really good. But like again, like I do like this card in this deck. But I could never see myself playing multiples in like a 40 card deck, just because you don't want to brick on it, or like multiples of it even. Then obviously like the one Bros or one Levy, you don't need multiples of those. Just for the hand traps in the main deck, 3 Ash, 3 Lancia, the 3 Gamma and the Driver. So Ash is just like the most generic card. It's also just like it's good versus like all of the decks. Like versus this deck, it just like in the mirror, you just like use it to stop them getting to whatever card, like whatever interrupt you want. And then versus like the control decks, it just like on its own, it usually just like beats the control matchups just because like it stops their one power play, and then you just have to play through trap cards, and that's like not too difficult because of the power level of the deck. Then first beat Virtual World, it just stops a name or carries a name, and a lot of the time I can also just stop their combos. Lancia is just like I think it's just like the most powerful one-off hand trap you can open. Like if you're only opening one hand trap, Lancia probably just does the most. Because like versus Virtual World, they shouldn't, like in majority of cases they won't be able to VFD you. So like that's just usually enough. Then that's like the mirror match again. It's just such a broken card. And you're mainly just playing for Virtual World. And it comes up in other matchups like stopping Pot, stopping like the Eldritch Traps banishing themselves, stuff like that.
Then obviously dinosaurs as well,
yeah. Like then Gamma's like just the most broken hand trap in Yu-Gi-Oh, right? Like negate and destroy a monster. It forces through like your power spells. It forces through stuff like Safer, stuff like that. And obviously like there's this cool interaction where like if you have a Gamma Lancia, you can Gamma their play, Lancia them, and then the Gamma stays for your turn. The Gamma and the Driver stay on the field for your turn, so it's just like an instant Chaos Ruler, instant Halqified Rax, whatever you want.
Oh, they stay on the field. They don't just go to the graveyard.
No, they stay on the field. Yeah, it's really nice.
That's pretty crazy.
Yeah, so you just start your field with just like 2-3 bodies, and that is just game, isn't it?
Yeah, that is. Yeah.
So yeah, this is like what I'm playing for now. I think you can afford to play a couple more hand traps, but like I think if you like go past 11 and the Driver, so 12 essentially, it can get a little bit bricky, and that's just not what you want with this deck, because you always want to be able to at least make tied as seals, but usually like seals plus like LPF is what you want. So yeah, then spell cards, 3 Chaos Space. I did learn that this card cannot put back any light or dark monster. It has to be one that cannot be normal summoned or set. Because for some reason I thought it was broken. But yeah, this card's just insane. It adds black or white dragon, it adds Levy. Also, because you're making Chaos Ruler a lot of the time, like you just mill it, which is really nice, because then it just gets you more free draws if you haven't used the effects, which is nice. Then 3 Warlocksy Guard Dragon. This is probably the best spell in the deck, just because it turns like any 1 card way to get to your seal. 1 or 2 card way to seal just turns it into like full combo because of the move effect. Then 3 Quick Launch. Again, like probably like one of the better spells in the deck.
Yeah, that card is broken.
Yeah, just like gets you Tracer, then Tracer gets you like another guy, and it's always like either one of your synchros or it's just like Striker Dragon plus LP, and that's again like it's game, isn't it?
Yeah, and it's not once per turn as well, isn't it? So it's basically like Fossil Beak, so it's crazy. Really nice.
Yeah. Then Green and Boot Sector. You like, I actually think like these are like the best cards in the deck, just because like they just let your like X-Deck monsters tutor out broken cards. So like it just means that like your Striker Dragon gets this as a +1, and it lets you just like cycle through to your rocket cards and always be able to summon them, which is nice. And in the grind game, this is like the best card as well. It's like, if possible, I always try to leave this face up on the field. So like every turn you just have 2 rocket monsters coming back from a graveyard. And then Ravine just again chooses you to your rocket cards, chooses you to like so many different plays. Like if you open Tidying and Ravine, like it just gets you an extender because you send the Dragon Maid, then banish this to summon the Dragon Maid back, and then grab your other Tidying. It's really nice.
Yeah, that's it.
And then the last 2 cards, 2 Tidying. So you can't. I don't think you can actually play one of this. Like I think you actually just always want to, because so like you have one for your interrupt. Like as I said at the beginning, we're playing like Salamangreat essentially, but like dragon cards. So like you always act like you activate this, then it'll go to grave, and then during your turn you're going to banish it to summon back the chamber. That's not chamber. You're going to summon back the chamber, and then you just want to have another copy to grab, so you've got like another interrupt next turn.
Well, is it?
That's why I just
go on.
Hmm?
Go on.
Also, that's why like I think it's like one of the best cards in the deck, just because like it's an extender and it's just like a constant threat as well, like as interruption.
So for me, who like don't really play Dragonlink, the Dragon Maid, is it not similar to Double Evo Peel? If you draw it, you can't search for it with Dragon Maid. So if you did play the one of it kind of screws you a little bit. It's kind of like an Evo Peel where
I wouldn't say it screws you.
You still have plays with the Dragon Maid. Doesn't make the normal summon of the Dragon Maid is to get the Tidian, no?
Yeah, exactly. But like, I wouldn't say like it screws you over, because like it just means you can't use the effect, right? But like it's like I think you just don't like when you like, for people that actually play this deck, like you just realize that like as it comes up, like you never just want one in your deck. You always want like a second copy, because like the second copy is just like the most broken thing in your deck sometimes. Plus, like you can do cool things where like you want to float into like a Brotor off the Heretic Seal. So you want to float into a Brotor during your opponent's turn. You can like banish this to like summon the chamber, add another copy of it, and then it just means you've got like a free discard for like Brotor and stuff like that.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, I just think it's like I think it's necessary to play as a 2 of. Otherwise, like I think I'd rather just cut the Dragon Mace and play one of this, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, that's a 40 card main deck. So extra deck. This is like very standard now.
Just quick, does it feel nicer? Because obviously Dragonlink before. Did you play Dragonlink before?
Yeah, I played it a little bit, but like I don't think I've played like actual tournaments.
So, because it was before, wasn't it? It was more than 40 cards the last.
Yeah,
does it feel a lot more consistent
pile,
now? Yeah,
45 to 60. It just feels like sometimes like with the hand traps you do just like draw unplayable. Like you draw like 2 hand traps, like a boot sector, a tidying, and like a dragon, and it's just not good. But like every hand that you don't draw like that bad, like it just feels like Exodia half the time. Just because like, you've got like a hand trap, you've got like one of your broken spell cards, then you've got like 2 or 3 dragon cards, and that's just really good.
Yeah, to be honest, the spells are, if you draw even one of those, that all 3 are just fucking nuts.
Yeah, all 3 of these spells are like broken. Like all of them basically equate to Link 2 material. So I think it's just Exodia again. As I said, like it's just such a nice feeling whenever like you draw any of the spell cards. Even like drawing Ravine is like good because you can use it as an extender. It's just boot sector sucks to draw. But yeah, extra deck. So the Chaos Ruler, the Savage, and the Hot Red for synchros. This is like the best card on deck, just because like by the time you're making it, a lot of the time you've got like 20-ish cards out your deck, and those are all like your dragon cards, right? So like every time you're summoning this, you're just digging for Lancia, and like you've just got like a very high chance of hitting it because you usually have like between like 15 and 20 cards in deck. So like you should just hit the Lancia in those 5 cards, which obviously does just like improves the value of this card by like astronomically. And then like you just climb up into the Hot Red afterwards, so you just get like a negate as well. And also just comes back every time. Yeah, I think this card's phenomenal. Hot Red's like until I actually played this deck, because like I played it in the like whenever you summoned off like Agripain before, when that card was legal. But like this card is like actually phenomenal, just because like it randomly just brings back a tuner every turn.
Yeah, that effect is crazy, and it's just a negate. It's just a negate and
Yeah,
a
it's just
summon.
like a face-up card negate, and it just randomly brings back like tuners. So like I remember one game, like I made this, but I hadn't used Tracer yet. So then like I brought back the Tracer Copter card, and then just made Savage afterwards, and it just felt so good. So yeah, I think this card's actually phenomenal. Then Savage just like negate, right? Then one XYZ being Sanaphon to Sky Prison. So this is basically like it just like stops either player from summoning from the graveyard. So it's like it's really nice just because like in the virtual world matchup, um, if they like if you like Seal's Tidying, then turn one they don't combo, then a lot of the time like you just end up making this turn two to stop them like from making VFD the next turn because they can't use like Cloud Castle, Nyan Nyan, they can't use the Trap, they can't use Lao Lao, they can't use what's another card? 2/2 as well. So like, it just like stops like five of their effects from coming off. And a lot of the time it just makes them very awkward for them to play.
Oh, that makes more sense now. Because when you first just popped up, I was like, why is he playing that? But now, yeah, it makes loads more sense now. Yeah, that's pretty. Yeah, it's pretty broken against.
Yeah, so like a lot of the time, like past turn one, like your end board is like that versus the virtual world deck. So like, you've got two interrupts, and then they just also card summon from the graveyard, and that basically just like so like sometimes they can just play through these two cards, but like the Sanaphon just like guarantees they can't win, which is what I really like about it.
Do you have other level weights? So what is there be? There'll be Levianeer, Chaos Ruler, and
it's basically
Savage.
always Levianeer and Chaos Ruler. Like
Yeah.
if like it's very rare you'll use the Savage to make it, but like, it's usually just like Levy and Chaos Ruler. So like you'll make your hot reds, then you'll like summon the Chaos Ruler back, and you've got the Levy on board. So then that's how you like get to this board.
Oh, is Ruler a tuner?
No, but like it reborns itself.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, you use like Ruler plus like the level 1 Rocket Synchron to make this.
Yeah.
It's broken. And then also this just also randomly gets really big. So sometimes it's like 5k, 6k.
Oh yeah, because how much is it for each card in the grave?
It's only 100, but like it's 100 per monster. And like a lot of the time I've got like 15 monsters in grave. They've got like 5 to 10, and it just adds up pretty quickly. So like sometimes like you can just like OTK with this card and Brawl Sword, which is cool. Then free Striker Dragon. Again, before I was like actually playing DRAGONLINK, I never thought that the third would come up. But like the more I play it, the more I realize that's like free Striker Dragon is just the best card in the extra deck. Like past turn one, just being able to like summon this, add back recharge your F, summon back like any of your dragon cards. It's just insane, to be honest. Yeah, I've got no other words for it. It's just broken. Then LP and Pisty. Again, broken cards. Just tutor out your deck, and also like this can add back summon back to Safer when you banish it for Levy, which is really nice. Cool interactions like that. I think this deck is probably playable with LP banned. I actually think Seals is like if Seals got banned over LP, I actually think this deck would be like marginally like less playable. Because like I think Seals is like such a better card for like this deck to end on than like LP is as part of the combos. But like whenever LP resolves, you're usually winning that game. So it's just like lesser of two evils, I guess. But yeah, Seals. We've been talking about it the entire video. This is probably like just the best card in the deck.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. I think it just shot up as well.
Yeah, it's just your boss monster, right? Like it's 0/0, but like it's a boss monster. It's broken.
Yeah, I remember I got mine for like £8, and then all of a sudden it just went up to like 30, and you're like, what happened?
That was crazy. That's exactly when I decided to pick up the cards as well. But luckily I got them all very cheap.
And it's worth it though, to be honest. It's worth the £30.
Exactly.
Some cards you spend the money on and they're not really worth it, but Seals is definitely worth
Seals
that money.
Yeah. Then Romulus, you need this to like get to your ravine and stuff. It's also just like a generic link to Dragon, so when you've got your LP and Pisty on board, sometimes you just need to link them away for something, and that like the Romulus also fulfills that role. which is really nice. Then for the last 3 cards, we're playing Hulk. So there's like some combo routes where this comes up. It also just randomly comes up because like use a tuner and any monster. So sometimes like that just helps you get out of like weird situations like Lost World Token and stuff like that. So yeah, I think this card like is warranted. Although like it comes up probably like once a tournament at best. Like I think it's still just like worth the slot because when it does, it wins you the game. Appaloosa and then also like you summon both of these like pretty much every game because like Appaloosa is part of the go first combos. Even going second, you make it just so you don't lose to hand traps and stuff. Then Borrelsword again kills.
How come you chose to play Borrelsword over access code, or do you not? Is it just because?
Oh yeah, so I got asked this a couple of times actually. So because of Elkin Pisty locking you into dragons while they're on board, it just means that like sometimes you're like you have like Seal, LP, Pisty, and then like you summon back a Tracer. They can like Tracer pop the field spell to summon a guy, make your Savage Dragon negate attach, and then you just like turn these 3 into Borrelsword, and then that's just game at that point.
So it's just for if you're going. So basically, for if you go in seconds, it's not like if you went first, then on your next turn you're making it.
Yeah,
it's more
so,
for
so it's going second.
Yeah, so it's for going second combo. Yeah.
Yeah, basically it's just so like you can always kill them when you don't get locked into like Elkipisty. But yeah, I think this is just like it's also just broken, isn't it? I don't think there's like any reason I'd play access code over this because like weirdly this deck just like breaks apart boards like really easily. Even though there's like no like Phoenix, Cerberus, Unicorn, those kind of cards. So like I just think that this is more necessary than access code is. Then for the side deck, so the side deck was like actually wasn't as bad as I thought it was going in for this event because like for some reason I was expecting a lot of Virtual World, which I did play like 4 in 8 rounds, but like I did forget that this is the UK, so like it's gonna be like a UK regional where there's just like random decks everywhere. So I played 3 Nibiru, 3 Draw, and 3 Skullmeister as the hand traps. So like Nibiru was probably the worst one. Even though like I sided Drawling, I never drew it though. But like Skullmeister, I saw Skullmeister a lot versus the Virtual World players. And like Skullmeister plus like any of like the other hand traps, like usually was just game. Because you just negate the King Long, you negate the trap, whatever like you need to negate to stop them getting to VFD. And it's just like it just feels like such a blowout sometimes that yeah, I think this cast was broken. Like beyond broken in this deck. Plus also you can hit both of these off of the Chaos Ruler. So sometimes like going first I'll side these in over Ashes. Like versus Virtual World especially. Because it gives me more cards I can hit off Chaos Ruler if I do the combos. Or if I do that route. So it just increases my like chances of winning essentially. Draw would have been good if I played like Drytron, but like it was good because I played the Invoked stacks. So obviously this costs like insane does that. And Nibiru is like it's like a good hand trap, but like versus Virtual World, like a lot of the time it just doesn't like do enough. Because I can still just like VFD through Nibiru. So like if it's your only hand trap, it's probably just not good enough.
Yeah, I'm surprised. So you didn't expect to play a lot of Drytron because obviously a lot of people have been getting the Cycle Reader now.
Yeah, so I've seen it, but like when I've like actually been talking to people, like people just aren't playing Drytron. Like I don't even think I think there was like 3 or 4 in the tournament. Out of like 50, 60 people, I can't remember how many entered, but like it wasn't a lot of Drytron players. So it just didn't feel like it just doesn't feel necessary until like there's ban list and Drytron's like actually playable. Because I don't think it's a playable deck right now. But
just because of the Virtual World make VFD.
Yeah, it's also just like it's mainly that, and just like everyone's got Droll in their deck, everyone's got like Cycle Readers in their deck because they're expecting Drytron. I was also playing the Drago.
Really? That's quite surprising. Yeah, I know it. Yeah.
Yeah, so like I played this just because like it's good versus the Dragon matchup and it's good versus Drytron, so it covers like 2 at once. But like, this was like my like side for Drytron essentially, because like breaking through the boards shouldn't be like super hard. Like making a seals and like a tidying like a seal, well, mainly seals through the herald shouldn't be too hard. Because like a lot of my summons, like inherent summons, and if he's going to negate those, he's negating those. But like a lot of the time, you should just be able to get to a seals. So I think this card's like just broken as well. And also like obviously like going first, like there was one game where I've played at locals where I literally just like LP'd for this card and just left it in attack. Like so I had like seals plus this plus a savage, and I was just like game.
Yeah, Draco's broken. So I was wondering. I was like, oh, how come it's just a one of them? Trying to think how you search it in LP. Yeah, that makes much.
Yeah, LP. A lot of the time you just summon it off of the seal. When you like, so you like bounce their normal summon, then summon this off seal, and it's usually game at that point because they've just got 0 outs to this.
Yeah,
and if you've got like Savage on board, that's just attacking every turn.
Yeah, and obviously for the people that might not know, Draco stops both players from special summoning light and dark monsters, isn't it?
Yeah, really good card.
Yeah, bro, yeah, that's a crazy card. You have to reveal obviously a dragon, but obviously in DRAGONLINK,
you're playing dragon.
That is no problem.
If you don't have a dragon, then something's wrong. Then the last 5 cards are like back row hate, so 3 cosmic, harpies from reboot. So I played these over lightning storms and stuff just because I literally just don't own them. So I thought cosmic will probably be fine. I tried Twin Twister before, but Twin Twister just wasn't very good. Because like you're just discarding you're lowering your hand size to like beat their decks.
And sometimes if you're playing against Elderlich, you're not really like. That's why I feel like Cosmic is just slightly better because of the Elderlich matchup. Because obviously then you can banish their stuff, but if you just put them in the graveyard, they have graveyard effects, so it's just
for me, I don't think it actually matters too much because like versus Eldritch, like you actually just OTK them like majority of the time, unless they've got like a floodgate, then you're probably not OTKing them. But like if they haven't got a floodgate, they've just got like Sanguine, Conk or Haquero, and like two other traps, or like maybe a hand trap. Like a lot of the time, you're just actually killing them through that board. So like, it doesn't matter too much if you like Twin Twister. But like, I found that like, even though you're like Twin Twister discard a card, you pop in 2 back row. I actually found that a lot of the time, like you just wanted more cards in your hands to be able to play through the board instead of like getting rid of their back row. So that's why I think Cosmic is probably just slightly better in this deck. Okay. And obviously, like these 2 are just like Exodia cards.
Yeah, Harper's Feather Duster is
just
crazy.
Like I played Old Zoo at locals last week, and he like switched from Virtue World, and then he just like goes sets 4, and I'm just like, okay, I'll Harpy's Feather Duster you, and then he just like gets all angry at me because of Harpy's Feather Duster's his trap deck. But I don't know. I think these cards like are broken, and there should probably just be in every single side deck.
Yeah, I was literally looking at my red reboot earlier, and I was like, should I? Should I play it? I don't know if I should get it in there. Just a bit unsure. But the Harpies 100% is just broken. Like, I watched Pac stream, and then when he set all of his back row, and then someone just Harpies, just like, oh,
just like I lose now. Nice.
Yeah, it's like unlucky buddy. Yeah, the Harpies is broken. Hopefully they bring it back. Hopefully they make it unlimited though. That'd be nice.
Oh no.
Oh, for DRAGONLINK that would be alright, wouldn't it? For the Harpies.
Yeah, I'm fine with that. Just means I don't have to get lightning storms right.
Yeah, lightning storm. It's weird. Would you get lightning storms if they were like basically more, like they're like what £60 at the moment?
Yeah, like I probably like would. I just can't be bothered to pick them up. Like as simple as it is. Like,
well, they're getting reprinted in the Ghost of the Past, so
hopefully, yeah. Like I haven't like for me, like I don't know like droplets or talents either, just because like I just don't see the point in playing them, or spending like 150 a play set, whatever they are, just to like play locals at the moment.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So obviously, like I'm playing like the bigger events now, but for me, the price point versus the rewards just wasn't there.
Well, I would actually be more willing to pay for the droplet and the talents over the lightning storm, because I had lightning storm before, and it just seemed that I never got it when I would want it, or drew it when it wasn't
No, I
live.
get that.
Wasn't live anymore. So it was just it felt like a really frustrating card. Talents can be like that sometimes as well. Dropless is just broken, isn't it? That card is ridiculous.
Like for me, I don't know. Like as I was like, obviously, like as I used to play like regionals every weekend, like and like go to every YCS and stuff. Like that's when it felt like worth spending money on the cards. Whereas like now, because like I'm not doing that, it just feels like what that 150, 200 could just be spent on like an entire deck instead if I want to play Yu-Gi-Oh.
Yeah, if you just want to play for fun at the moment, yeah.
Yeah, because it doesn't really like affect like my locals experience for me. Like if I don't have talents, I don't have talents. It is what it is. Like, but yeah.
Yeah, well, I appreciate for coming on and giving us a deck profile, guys. Disciples link, they are a bigger channel than me, obviously, but their link will be in my description just in case that you haven't seen their channel. They've got like Alex said before, he's got some good players on there. He's got Gabe. I'm very new to YuGiOh, and I've heard his name mentioned quite a few times already. And obviously Alex is on there, and Alex is a very good player also. Yeah, so thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next video.